I'm back. Um, pardon that interruption. Again, this is part two. Because and this is something, man, that I think we need to really deal with. See, we're dealing with the symptoms of the problem and not the problem itself. And Trump is just a symptom. That's all he is. A symptom of a system of what's going on. Call it white supremacy, call it elitism, call it whatever name you want to put on it. It's a system that we need to be trying to change. And he is revealing. And see, this system has been in place for a long time. It's been in place for a long time. It really has. You know, this ain't nothing new. This is not anything that's new. Let's see here. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure. I'm working here. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. But let's see if this is the one. Good afternoon. Good night. Good morning. No, this not. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with this app. I really don't. I really don't know what's going on with this app. But and see, and this is what I bet you if I change the topic, it won't be censored. Okay, I bet you. See, this is shadow ban right here. Oh, somebody Gino is up in here. Okay, man, can you hear me? Am I coming through, Gino? Am I coming through? Can you hear me? Obviously you can. You hear. I hope so. Yes. Okay. So once again, man, we need to start looking at the systems that are allowing this kind of behavior to come along, to be able to survive and operate. That's what the problem is. It ain't the person, it's the enablers that are going along with it. And when we change that, then we'll be able to do something different. Oh, okay. We'll be able to do something different. But only until then will we be able to, only until then. We ain't gonna do nothing until we challenge this system that's allowing this stuff to go on. That's what we gonna have to do. That's what we got to do. And if we never do that, ain't nothing gonna change, y'all. You know, 100 years from now, it'll still be the same thing, because we're not challenging the system that's allowing this to continue. That's what the problem is. That's the problem. And nobody's talking about that. Nobody's taking that kind of responsibility. Okay? Nobody's saying, come on, man, we can do better than this. We are better than this. But if good afternoon, good night, good morning, I don't seem to be able to even get my own lives. I hope y'all can hear me, man. I hope you can hear me. But this is what the problem is. And if you notice, if what I'm saying is not true, then how come so many truths are now coming out? Stuff that's been buried for years is finally coming to the surface. It's coming to the surface. And if you pay attention, you know, look at the truths that's now coming out. You know, this country in the Bible got free education and free health care on our dime. I bet you a lot of people didn't even know that. They get free health care and free education. And we got Americans right now, we're getting rid of FEMA that's designed to help Americans in case of a disaster. We eliminate that. Look at all of the stuff we're doing for these other people, but yet the American people are suffering. The American people, we don't get free health care. Matter of fact, we can't even afford the health care we do get. Forget about, look at the people who are struggling with student loans. Some of them can't even keep their head above water. But that country is getting free health care and free medical on our dime. And ain't nobody saying nothing. Yeah, you pay for health care. Yeah, you do. And you pay for education too. Okay? You have to pay for education too. But how come we giving a country that has stolen from us, that has attacked us, okay, free education? How are we calling them our greatest ally? And look at the stuff they've done to us. Okay? But they're our greatest ally. And we send billions of dollars to them. For what? And it's because of them that we're in this conflict that we're doing now, where your sons and daughters and grandchildren are going to have to pay the price. Okay? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Okay? So I'm just saying, right is right, wrong is wrong. And if we don't address the system that is enabling wrong, regardless to who you are, nothing is going to change. That's all I'm saying. Okay? We got to change the system. That's why I say, man, all politicians, all judges should have term limits. All of this being there for life, we need to change that. Okay? If you hate America, why are you here? That's real simple, real easy. Man, if you hate America, why you here? What you doing here? How come you don't leave? Why stay somewhere that you hate? I mean, seriously. Why be here for some? Good afternoon. Oh man, it won't let me. It won't let me. It won't let me come into my live. And none of my moderators are here. Okay. Term limits. Well, if you had term limits, you ain't got to worry about the age. You don't have to worry about the age. If you got term limits, care how old you are. I mean, you ain't got but a set time to be where you are. Give some new voices a chance. And see, and that's the problem in our thing right now. See, I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this message. This guy saying it's the system, man. What you're talking about is being enabled. How come you ain't saying that about the people that's enabling? Okay? Okay? All right. Why you not saying anything about that? And we now are seeing some of the parents of the children that's in them files were enablers. They allowed that. See, the truth is coming out, and I've said that. Yeah, you need a government ID, and you should have an ID to go vote. You really should. It's just that simple. Okay, in 2026, there ain't too much you can do that you don't have to have an ID. So how is it that now you can come and vote and you don't need an ID? That's just asinine. That's crazy. In 2026, we ain't talking about we in the 1890s, or the 1900s. We talking about 2026, where you got to have an ID for everything. Okay? For everything. So look at the system that is allowing a lot of this stuff to survive and exist. Okay? All right? Look at the system that's allowing this. But the truth is coming out. And that's what a lot of these people don't eventually, man, the truth is going to come out. It's coming out. That's something you ain't going to be able to hide. Okay? You ain't going to be able to hide the truth. It's going to come out. And you got a lot of people who are enabling lies and deception and deceit. That's just a way of doing business. Okay? That's just a way of doing business. So I'm telling you, we're going to have to address this. We're not going to be able to escape this. And if we don't deal with the system that's enabling this, it is money. Why is it money? Because you got good people who are afraid of other good people. This is the problem. See, there's good and bad in everybody, y'all. There's good and bad in every race and every color. How come the good people can't come together? That's the problem. Good people are afraid of other good people. And see, I have this message: stop hating each other because you disagree. I could put "Let's go Brandon" on that sign, which means F Joe Biden, and get rich overnight. But when I try to unite people and bring them together, what you gonna do with the money? Maybe something else positive, if you give me a chance. But most folk are not willing to give something positive a chance. They're suspicious of that, but yet when somebody's voicing their anger and their division, they all in. They are all in. And we got the power, but we just don't recognize it. We don't use it. Because, right is right, wrong is wrong. It's just that simple. How do you know what's wrong? What's wrong is when you say one thing and do something else. That's wrong. But when you say what you mean and mean what you say, where's the lie in that? Okay? Okay? The love of money. But the Bible says money has the answer to everything. Oh, what? Let me show you this, because a lot of A lot of y'all probably didn't know this, but let me show it to you. Okay, it's in Ecclesiastes, uh, 10:19. Okay, Ecclesiastes 10:19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine makes merry, but money answers everything. Okay, all right. Listen, it says a feast is made for laughter, and wine makes merry, but money answers everything. That's Ecclesiastes 10:19. Okay, all right. Baby Turtle say, why do churches need money? God, first of all, how you gonna pay your bills? How you gonna get your word out? If you don't have resources, you don't have money. Unfortunately, hey Strong, man, thank you for the $2. You thank you for that $2. Thank you, Strong. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're the first one to give me some money today, and may there be many, 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 many more after you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rarely do get some money, but it don't stop me. Okay? If I was in it for the money, a lot of times, I come here, man, and I don't get nothing. I got a handful of people who are supporting me. I really do. I have a handful of people that are faithful in supporting me financially. And that's how I'm able to do, okay, what I'm doing. So and God be blessing me, man. God bless me. I'm serious about that. God blesses me. So I don't, I just keep doing what he tells me to do. And that's it. But uh well, see again, we have power that we don't even utilize or even exercise as people. We don't. See, we promote negativity over unity. See, you can in America right now, you can go negative and get rich overnight. Okay? No, I'm not a Trump cuck boy. I'm not. I'm not. A matter of fact, I'm gonna show this message. I'm. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not supportive of any. I'm saying there's a system. Could Trump do what he's doing if he was not enabled? Think about that. Could Trump do what he was doing if he didn't have people that was enabling him to do this stuff? Would he be able to do some of the stuff he's doing? No. The reason he's doing it is because there's people and a system that will enable him to be able to do that. Okay? This all I'm saying. We're looking at the man. The man is just a symptom. The problem is the enablers that are allowing this type of behavior to continue. That's where the problem is. And why we don't want to focus on what the problem is, because he can't do it by himself. Okay? Most churches, well, that's why the body of Christ is so divided. With all of the confusion and all of the division and hatred, name one pastor that's done stepped up and say, man, let's come together. We don't have no more Billy Grahams. See, Billy Graham was for, I mean, he tried to unite the world. We ain't got no more Billy Grahams. That's in my lifetime. Okay? That I can say Billy Graham is the greatest evangelist that in my lifetime this world has ever seen. We ain't got no more of them. Okay? We don't have no more. Listen, a lot of people, again, see, this is way the system is designed. I didn't make this. If an idea or a person is not generating any income, it ain't successful. It's not successful. I learned that when I found out it wasn't such thing as democracy when I ran for mayor back in '94 against Marion Barry in Washington D.C. Because I found out then, no matter how good your ideas are, no matter how good you can articulate them, if you didn't have any money that was backing you, you were not viable. Okay? You were not viable. And right now, if something is not generating any financial success, it's not successful. Okay? It's not successful. It's just that simple. It's not successful. And you find, you go back and look at a lot of these mega churches. For years, they taught tithe and offering only to turn around and say, oh, that's not biblical. I made a mistake. But for 20-odd years, you collected in millions of dollars. You ain't trying to get that back. But you, Joyce Myers, Creflo Dollar, all of them. See, now tithes and offerings is not biblical. But what about all the money that you raked in from that? Teaching those principles, that prosperity gospel, which has destroyed the body of Christ. Man, I got 51 people up in here and just 7 likes. See, that's what I'm talking about. I got 49 people right here, but I only got 7 likes. And you agree with my message. We don't want to promote each other, y'all. That's the problem. Okay? That is the problem. We don't want to uplift each other. That's the problem. That's why we have the situations that we have in this world today. Because good people are afraid of other good people. That's the problem. That is the problem. Okay? Well, see, right now, churches have become a family business for generational wealth. If you look at most churches now are designed to be passed down to the children. That's what churches now are, just a family business. That's all it is. Look at it. Who inherited T.D. Jakes' church? His daughter. Fred Price out in California. His son inherited until he screwed up. Joel Osteen. His children are going to inherit that church. He's doing that to pass down generational wealth to his family. That's what most churches are designed today. They're family businesses. It's just that simple. Okay? Okay. So if your body is the temple, how come we got so much division in the world, in the body of Christ? Why is there so much division? There are Christians that won't even speak to each other. They scared of each other. If what you're saying is true, $50 million, man, you could, as my grandmama used to say, boy, a fat hog in a good garden will take you a long way with $50 million. You know, it'll take you a long way. Excuse me, y'all. My body's going through this change. So that's one of the reasons I've been trying to not. I'm gonna get out and get me some sun today, but and put my feet on the ground. I mean, my skin. You know, he sold a lot of books, but I guarantee you, the majority of that wealth is for his family. Guarantee you. I guarantee you, it's for his kids. Guaranteed. Well, we got again. There are systems that are enabling. John, this is what I'm trying to say. John says Act 238 is baptism, not Matthew 28:19. Most people think they're in a church, they're baptizing wrong, but that system is allowing it. The system is enabling that wrong. That's what's enabling. You know, right now, if most preachers say, I'm going to follow my calendar and we're going to start church on Saturday now because that's the last day of the week, man, most folk will walk out of church and leave. If the preacher say, we now going to have service on Saturday, the last day of the week, instead of Sunday, the first day of the week, most folk would get up and leave that church because they done changed from Sunday, the first day of the week. What calendar do you know starts with Monday? Think about this for a minute. What calendar do you know that starts with a Monday and ends with a Sunday? Every calendar I see starts with a Sunday and ends with a Saturday. Okay? All right? Man, the truth is gonna come out, man. And I think right now, what's going on is the earth actually is correcting itself. A lot of stuff that has been going wrong, that a lot of wrong that has been perpetuated for years is now coming to the surface. A lot of people now are being exposed to the truth, whether they accept it or not. They're being exposed to the truth. And I think that's the correction that the earth is making. Because the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. It is correcting itself. That's just this is just my little humble belief. Okay? And he said, give some examples. Look at all the truth that's coming out. Just look at all of the truth that's been hidden for years that's coming out. Because see, now, especially Americans are now questioning why are we so loyal to this country and the Bible? And this country in the Bible is not the same country that it is today. There's a distinct difference. And when we start seeing how we as Americans have been manipulated, okay, we gonna wake up. And that's what you're having right now, man. There's an awakening. People are beginning to see stuff that they normally did not see. Okay? The truth that has been suppressed. Again, I bet you I got 92 people up in here and 10 likes. So that means most of them are bots. Okay? All right? But I bet you a lot of y'all didn't know that country in the Bible got free education and free health care. I bet you a lot of y'all didn't even know that. Okay? It is. But see, I just got to, I have to, I've been censored. I know there's a strong censorship on these platforms. I know it is. So I have to speak in codes to get my message across. Okay? All right? I have to that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to avoid this censorship that they got because I know it exists. And there's no sense in me knowing that certain words that I say are going to be censored and it mess up my platform. So I know from experience. So, okay, how do I get around that? Then I got to start using codes. See, that's what made the Underground Railroad so successful because it was a code system. That's all it was. It is a code system. So you can say, I'm going back to the Underground Railroad. And I am by no means endorsing Trump. I'm telling you, we focus on the wrong thing. He's just a symptom. And we need to go back and look at what's enabling him to do the stuff that he's doing. Okay? All right? We got to look at the enablers now because they getting a free pass because we're so focused on the person. And if we got rid of the enablers, we can get rid of people like that. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's enabling him to do what he's doing and getting a free pass because we're not focused on them. We're not paying them any attention because we're so angry and caught up on the person. But what's enabling that person? That's what you're going to have to, that's the root of the problem. The enablers are the root. And we need to go down and cut out the root of the problem. That's what we're going to have to do. If we're going to have any kind of change, if we're going to make any kind of a difference, man, we're going to have to cut out the root of the problem. Because as long as you just cut the head off and you don't go down and get the root, it's going to grow back. And this is the problem in America. See, we've been cutting off the heads, but we ain't got down to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem, Baby Turtle say, if you want anything in life, you have to earn it. Well, that's true. But you can also be blocked by a system. Okay? All right? uh, love of money. If preacher is not working and supplying the needs of his wife and children, he's not supposed to be in the pulpit. Well, see, here's the problem, y'all. We've been putting money in the hands of the wrong people. That's if you want to get down to really the problem is we've been putting money into the hands of the wrong people. The people that we've been putting um, money into are selfish. They're greedy. It's all about them, and they forward no more. Okay, that's what it's all about. And you know if see there are a set of people who are hiding these files, and that's why they are enabling this kind of behavior because it has protection. Uh, um, no, I don't have no. I know you. I know you. North is one of my trolls. I know you're a troll. Unfortunately, today I don't have any moderators up in here. None of my moderators are up in here today. No, it's not. I'm saying this is what I'm saying right here. Right here. Oh, I got it. I got it. Oh, I got it. I got it. Now I can look and see. I can look and see. Lucky Logger. Let me look at you. 75 subscribers. Came on in 2012. What's up, Luck? How you doing, Lucky? How you doing? Uh, I'm saying that the hat this is just my persona, man. It's just my persona. My feelings are not hurt. If my feelings were hurt, you'd be out of here. It's just that simple. See, somebody that only got 75 subscribers can't hurt my feelings. Because obviously you don't have any content that people are interested in. Because you've been here since 2012, 57 videos, and just 75 subscribers. What's that? That's what, 13, 14 years that you've been on YouTube? And in 14 years, you can only get 75 subscribers, and you're going to come up in here like you swinging big dick? Okay, come on, man. Come on. You're on the right playground, though. You're on the right playground, you know? We ain't even in the same category because you can't go live. You can't. So the only thing you can do is come up in somebody else's live and be a distraction. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You can't do no more. So realize, because if you had something going on, you'd be live yourself, and you can't do it because you got to have 1,000 subscribers. Okay. Um. Uh. Baby turtle. When I first um I was a Black History specialist of DC. I did Black History tour. I took my tours down because a lot of people just wasn't interested in Black history, and I got tired of sitting down by the White House seeing all them Black people on white tours, and they didn't even Google to see if there were Black History tours in DC. So I took my tours down. Okay. It is American history, but look at how it's being denied. Look how many people that don't even want to acknowledge Black history of America because it's painful, ugly, and uncomfortable. That's why. That's why a lot of people don't want to deal with the Black history of America because it's very painful, ugly, and uncomfortable. Okay? Uh no, the whole world doesn't. If the whole world loves Black culture, then why are we at each other's throats? And right now, the body of Christ, Christians, are divided along the lines of politics and race. I mean, seriously. I mean, the church is divided along the lines of politics and race. And we don't want to accept that. Sunday is the most segregated day in America. Okay? Sunday is the most segregated day in America right now. And oftentimes we want to pretend like these situations don't exist because it's very uncomfortable to talk about. We don't want to have those conversations. And if I had my way, man, I get some white people and some Black people across the table from each other, take their telephone, and the only break you're gonna get is a restroom break. We're gonna even eat together and talk out this stuff. That's what I would do. Okay? No, I don't work for Amtrak. This is just my persona. See, and let me read to you what a persona, the definition of persona. Okay? Let me give you the definition of persona. Um, Persona is the public image, social role, or character an individual present to others, offering different from their true private self. Okay. Well, you might know, but a lot of people don't. And I can't take that for granted. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the people who don't know. See, that's the problem. See, we assume that a lot of people know what we're talking about and they don't. And we don't take the time to explain it to them. Okay? We won't take the time. See, because, and I knew when I put Trump is not the problem, that a lot of people was going to think that I'm endorsing. And I'm saying, no, we're focused on the wrong thing. We're not focusing on the enablers of Trump. Trump by himself can do absolutely nothing. Let me say that again. Trump by himself can do absolutely nothing. It is the people and the systems that are enabling. You can take his name and put anybody's name, but they have enablers. Okay? They have enablers. And if we gonna make a change, we gonna have to change the enablers that is allowing this kind of behavior to continue. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay? If we don't get to the root of the problem, because wrong is only successful when it has enablers. That's the only time wrong can be successful. if somebody is allowing it to happen. And right now, we got too many people looking the other way and allowing situations to exist. That's the problem. In America, too many people are looking say Hebrews. Let me see what you're talking about. Let me see what you're talking about. Let me see what you're talking about. Hebrews 6, 1 through 6. Hold on. Therefore, leaving the discussion of the elementary principles of Christ, let us go on to perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works, of faith toward God, of the doctrine of baptism and laying on the hands, resurrection. This we will do if God permits, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted the heavenly gift and have become partakers of the Holy Spirit and have tasted the good word of God, the same powers of the age, if they fall away, to renew them again to repentance, since they crucify again for themselves. But see, again, you have a lot of Christians who are enablers of Rome. They're enablers, and they call themselves Christians, but they enable sin. Give you an example: same-sex marriage. Look how many Christians that support same-sex marriage. Christians that support that lifestyle. A lifestyle that God destroyed, and they support it. They justify it. And that's a good example right there. Okay, we got preachers, ministers in the pulpit that endorse same-sex marriage. Okay, that's the root of the problem. The lifestyle can't exist if it's not supported. This is what I'm trying to get people to see. When I say Trump is not the problem, look at what's being supported. Both of them wrong. See, one say I'd rather be gay than a. They both wrong. Sin is sin. Either one, you still gonna bust hell wide open. You still gonna bust hell wide open. Okay, it's uh, that's just the reality. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Okay, absolutely, absolutely. See, anything God created can produce after its own kind. Anything God created, okay, can produce after its own kind. What gay people got to go to the heterosexual pool to recruit their members. They can't produce. You can't you know what life is gonna come out of a shithole. Think about it. What life is gonna come out of a shithole? It wasn't designed to produce life. It can only produce destruction. Anal sex ain't gonna produce no life. It's gonna produce destruction. Just that simple. Okay? All right? Ain't got nothing to do with that. We talking about people. No, this okay. All right. Bacteria and germ, that's all it's gonna produce. It's destruction. Because it wasn't designed to create life. Man, if you could push a baby out of your butthole, come on, come on. How do men uh uh somebody say gay people can have kids? How so? How so? How two if two women gonna have a baby, they're gonna have to have a male sperm somewhere. If two men can't make no baby, and two women can't make no baby. It's impossible. The body is not designed. So how two women gonna make a baby? How two men gonna make a baby? They can only go and adopt. Okay? All right? Um, baby turtle, that's my that's my I mean, a shithole is not my pleasure palace, whether it's on a man or woman. Okay? Oh, they have surrogate partners, but they ain't producing it themselves. They need help. They can't produce it them. See, you just proved my point. Okay? You just proved my point. Yeah, you can ask a question. Okay? You just proved my point. They got to go outside to get a surrogate. Okay? All right? They got to get somebody else of the opposite sex to do what they need done because they can't do it themselves. But everything God created can produce after itself. If God created it, it can reproduce itself. That's my point. Okay? All right? That is my point. If God produced it, they ain't got to go outside. Okay? Don't forget sex outside of marriage. It's a sin. Man, we got a lot of people who are married sinning with sex. We got a lot of people who are committing that sin. Okay? No, ain't no lesbians. How? How two women gonna have a baby without a man? Even if they get the egg planted, it's coming from a man. Uh, I don't know nothing about cutting off your answer. Okay, I don't know nothing about your answer, man. I ain't got no moderators up in here, so I can't say. I don't know. Sperm donor got to be a man. Can't be another woman. A woman can't take two eggs from a woman and make a baby. Got to have a man. Okay. My point is factually incorrect. Not to mention, we need people to adopt. See, again, anything God created, you ain't got to adopt. It can create from itself. Okay? No, no, no. That's physically impossible. That's physically. I don't have to look it up. Uh, JoJo, job, say two eggs literally can make a baby. If it's a male and female, absolutely. Two women ain't gonna make no. How two men gonna make a baby when their pleasure palace is their butthole? Man, do you know that's impossible. That's you know uh see, enabling, okay, enabling. No, I'm not a trained conductor. All right. This is in ape. See, when we start justifying these kind of situations, we are enabling. That's not God. God did destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. It's just that simple. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Uh, but see, all of this stuff that you're talking about, baby turtle, is you don't have to manipulate the system with God. You ain't got to manipulate it. I'm a biochemist. It has happened before, but no, you need a speed cell to create. And see, with God, you ain't got to do all that. You want to make a baby? Have a man and a woman come together, and they'll create a baby. You ain't got to go through all of that. Okay? You ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is get a man and a woman to come together, and they can create. They'll multiply. It takes a male and a female to multiply. Two females can't multiply, and two males can't multiply. It's just that simple. I don't care how you try to explain it. I don't care how you try to reason with it. Okay? It takes a male and a female, okay, to multiply. It's just that simple. That's how, even in animals, takes a male and a female, even in animals. Okay? Um, somebody say, how you as a black man worship your slave master's God. Really? Really? Okay. Really? Man, don't get I'm see, again, again, Trump cannot do the things he's doing if he was not enabled. Okay? Tanya. Oh, I finally got me a moderator up in here. Okay? Listen to me. Listen to me, y'all. We're focused on the wrong thing. We're focused on Trump. We're not focused on the system and the people who are enabling him. And that's all I'm saying. That's when I say Trump is not the problem. He ain't. It's what's enabling him to be able to do what he's doing. That's what we need to focus on. The enablers. And I know, man, that's a lot of y'all kind of like, wow. But if he didn't have enablers, they would check him. He wouldn't be able to do a lot of the stuff that he's doing. Who are the enablers? Politicians, judges, people. Those are the enablers. Okay? All right? The media, those are the enablers. All right? That's what I'm saying. Let's deal with the people who are okay with this. Anybody else, talking about, having sex with a child would be under the jail. but somebody is enabling that behavior to continue. Address Christianity and slavery. Well, uh, you got to realize that a lot of wrong was done in the name of the church, Jesus. And um, there's no secret that religion can be used to enslave people. Um, uh, See, again, I want to be real clear about this. And I knew this was going to be controversial when I put Trump is not the problem, because I want to get people focused on the enabler that's allowing him to do what he's doing. We have certain trampled because people enabled that behavior to continue. How am I an enabler when I'm trying to bring that to your attention? Why am I an enabler when I'm saying this is the problem? So if I'm an enabler, I'm not going to try to reveal who I am. I'm going to keep you divided. I'm going to keep you fighting each other because I don't want you to look at me. And this is why we got the confusion in not only America but the world. They got us fighting each other because they don't want us looking at them. So what they do, create division. That is why. This is why we got a lot of the stuff going on in the world that we got right now, because it'll keep the discussion off of what the real. That's that's the problem. And we've fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. We're falling for the flim flam. Okay? We really are. Um, let's see here. Even if we vote him out, if we don't destroy the system that enabled him, it's just going to enable somebody else. If we don't destroy this system, because we ain't got no checks and balances right now, that stuff has been totally eliminated. We don't have no checks and balances. If we had the checks and balances in place and they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, we wouldn't have the problems that we're having right now. Uh, J Mastermind say, what does the Bible say about people who harm kids? Uh, they are the kids are the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And anybody that touch them, so that tells you all of them people that's guilty, they ain't getting away with nothing, man. They might be getting away with man, but they ain't gonna get away with God. It's just that simple. Okay? It's just that simple. They ain't getting away with nothing. And a lot of y'all think, man, these people ain't getting away with nothing. They getting away with stuff with man. And even if you notice now, a lot of the stuff it's coming out. A lot of truths right now coming out. A lot of truths are coming out. Because I believe the earth is finally correcting itself. Where wrong, see, we are in the year of the fire horse. This year is the year of the fire horse. We came out of the year of the snake, and we're going into the age of Aquarius. So there's going to be a lot of changes, man. A lot of change. See, before everybody's focusing on the end, but man, there's going to be a wealth transfer before God come back. Before Jesus come back, there's going to be a wealth transfer because it says the wealth of the sinners is laid up for the just. Well, who's the just? The person that is living right, ain't cheating, ain't stealing, ain't deceiving, ain't seeking revenge, ain't dividing. That's the just. Okay? And the wealth of the sinners is laid up for the just. It's just that simple. And we're going to have a wealth transfer before Jesus come back. And the question is, where you going to be? See, are you going to be one of the ones getting the transfer? Or are you going to be one of the ones watching the transfer? Because the wealth of the sinners is laid up for the just. That's real. That's biblical. All right? That's biblical. So that's what we need to focus on. How we live it. How we live it. And sometimes, man, truth is painful. It's ugly and it's uncomfortable. The truth. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that pain or that discomfort. They don't want to deal with it. Okay? They don't want to deal with it. And we're going to have to. At some point, we're going to have to deal with it. But see, if good people don't start recognizing and uplifting other good people, ain't nothing going to change. And that's where the problem is right now. Good people of all races are afraid of other good people. That's where the problem is. That's the problem in a nutshell. Good people are afraid of other good people. And they believe in the same Jesus and scared to uplift each other, encourage each other, support each other. Good people. And they can agree with what you're saying, but they won't give you a chance. And they agree. Listen, let me show y'all. I've been at this message now for, oh yeah, this when I first started out. That's one of my first signs, right there. That's back during COVID. Okay, it's 6 years ago. That's one of my first signs. I'm advertising my tours. That's one of my first signs. And then I went from dcblacktours.com to truthconductor.tv, and then I just went to Truth Conductor. But this is my first sign. Okay? And look, see, look at the graphic. That was my first sign, and then finally I switched over to this. See, finally I switched over to that. All right, that's my last graphic right there. There are a lot of people, man, come up and give me a thumbs up. Man, I agree with your message, but you're scared to drop $1 in the bucket to help me be successful. But you agree with the message. And if you don't want to support it financially, how is it going to be successful? Oh, my website is coming. my website is coming. It's coming, man. Coming soon. Right here. Coming soon. Truthconductor.com. coming soon. I got arrested. Matter of fact, I got to go to court next week on the 19th for panhandling. I've been down at the White House for 6 years and just got arrested for panhandling. Okay, I go to court on the 19th. I will, and I'm walking in there looking just like this. When I go to court, I'm walking in there looking like this. Okay, this is how I'm going to court. Man, talking about you can go virtual. Man, I don't want to go virtual. I want to be in person. See, I want to look at you in your face. That's what I want to do. And see, when you dig one hole, you might as well dig two. Because the hole you dug for somebody else is the hole for you. It's just that simple. So, and I know it's gonna work out in my favor. I ain't worried about it. But if this didn't happen to me, I would have never said, "Man, let me finally get my." Man, in fact, it's gonna be done this month. It's gonna be done this month. My website, truthconductor.com, is gonna be up. And see, now I got something to direct people to. See, when I had when you look at this sign, see, you only can Google Truth Conductor. You know, that's all. That's all you can do is Google Truth Conductor. But if I put .com on the back of that, you think I ain't gonna get a whole lot of visits? You think people ain't gonna come and see? Let me see what he talking about. Let me see what this is all about. And then they'll get a chance to see who I am. See, my website now validates who I am as a person. My website will now validate who I am. So all I'm telling you is, man, let's I know, yeah, a lot of stuff this man do, I do not agree with. And I'm saying he ain't the problem. We need to look at the system that is enabling him to be able to do this stuff. Anytime you can go and tear down a historic building, the East Wing of the White House, that's historical, and you don't go through the process, somebody is enabling you. All right? You just can't come and say, man, there was a protest vigil that had been there over 40 some years. And just like that, he said, get rid of them. And they removed them. They didn't say, hey, wait a minute, we got a process to do this. No, forget the process. I said, tear down this East Wing. And they tore it down. And that building had asbestos. They tore it down. And people walking every day visiting the White House, and they tearing down a building that had asbestos in it. That's what I'm talking about. See, when we talk about enablers, this is what I'm talking about. Who are the people that's in place ain't doing their jobs? Those are the ones we need to be holding their feet to the fire. Because if we hold their feet to the fire, they're gonna hold his feet to the fire. And right now, nobody wants to hold his feet to the fire, and they're enablers. That's what I'm talking about. And if we never change that system, when somebody else come in, we still got enablers, and we need to root them out. That's my point. Okay? That is my point. And that's why I say he ain't the problem. The people who are enabling him, they are the problem. And if we don't get rid of that root, we always gonna have the same situation. Just be a different face, a different name, but it's still gonna be enabling. And that's what the problem is. So for all of the people that's thinking that I'm a Trump supporter, no, don't get it twisted. I'm saying take your focus off him and look at the people who's enabling him, because he can't do this by himself. He's just a symptom, man. There's nothing he can do by himself. If he ain't got people in the judges in his pocket, look at the woman down in Florida that he put on, Cannon. She's an enabler. Okay, some of the people on the Supreme Court, enablers. And don't talk about the politicians who scared to stand up against him, enablers. That's who I'm talking about. And we got, even the supporters, enablers. Because it ain't about what's right and wrong. It's not that anymore. See, it's about maintaining some power and some control. That's what it's about for a lot of his supporters, because they know all they got to do is go in there and butter him up. And they can get anything they want. Just butter him up. That's all. You got to go in there and flatter him. And you can get anything you want. Enablers. That's all I'm saying. Let's address the enablers. And if we do that, man, we can eliminate a lot of grief down the road. But only until we address the enablers, that's when stuff is going to change. Because now we done attacked the root of the problem. Trump is just a symptom. That's all. He's just a symptom. And when he's dead and gone, that root of the problem is still gonna be here if we don't dig it up. It's still gonna be here, whether you Republican or Democrat. And see, and you have to ask yourself, how can we continue to support a country whose citizens get free health care and free education? How do we continue to keep supporting that? Think about that for a minute. How? They get free education, free health care on our dime, and ain't got no respect for us. None. Why are we still supporting that? Think about it. Why? And we got veterans that's done served this country homeless. Can't get no health care. Right now, health care in America is out of control. But we giving money to a country where their citizens get free health care and free education. Which means they got a whole lot of money to do stuff Americans don't do because they ain't got to pay for it. A lot of folk right now are in a financial jam because of the health care and the student loans that they got to repay. And you don't have a problem with that. You don't see nothing wrong with that. And it's so bad now, you can't even say nothing against. They're flying flags in America on government buildings. They're flying these flags, and you don't have a problem with it. Something wrong with that picture, man. Something is wrong. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So you can paint me whatever way you want to. I really don't give a shit. But I'm saying if we don't get down to the root of the problem, ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. Nothing is gonna change. Okay? Man, I'm gonna show y'all a picture of my wife. Rarely do I talk about my wife. Nah, I ain't gonna show you that. Hang on. Hey, nah. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. She's a very private person, so I'm gonna keep her, I'm gonna respect her privacy. Um, but we all got a part to play in this, man. We do. We all got a part to play. We do. And the problem is good people.